Wondering what life is really like on Canada's wild and crazy West Coast? This podcast is all about the people, the places, and Vancouver Island time. Together, we'll explore this island paradise, a combination of ocean, city, and country living. We'll meet the fabulous locals such as the Fudge Fairy and the Chicken Lady, who have chosen Victoria and Vancouver Island as their home. And we'll learn what makes this place unique and special to those who live here. And now, your host of Vancouver Island Time, Jane Johnston.
Hi everybody, it's Jane Johnston from Vancouver Island Time. I'm here with Linda Mackie today. We're going to be talking about Colwood and specifically the Royal Bay area. Linda moved here from Vancouver and chose this area to live in. She lives in a very contemporary part of a rather modern area now, and she's going to talk to us about it. And then she'll be exploring her business, Linda Mackie Photography. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with the full show. Thanks. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Vancouver Island Time. I'm Jane Johnston, your host with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. Today, we're going to be talking to Linda Mackie. Linda Mackie chose to live in the Royal Bay area of Colwood, which is just to the southwest of Victoria. And today, she's going to be talking about her area, and then we'll hear more about why she's someone you want to know in business. And she runs her own photography studio called Linda Mackie Photography. So we're in what's formerly the gravel pit of Victoria, and you live in a very contemporary home. We'll show a picture of the area after so you can see what it's like. It's the houses are stunning here. And just tell us what attracted you to Colwood and Royal Bay in particular.
Mm-hmm. Well, coming from Vancouver, I came from the North Shore of Vancouver, North Vancouver and West Vancouver, and I found this area to be very similar because we've got the ocean in front and then the mountains behind. So it really felt like home, and we also were attracted to the community. It kind of has the same distance from the city like we had in Vancouver, and we just were instantly knew that this was where we want to live, and it's got the community and the schools and the view, of course. We have a bit of a view. And just the wild nature here is beautiful. I mean, there's just so many things. It's quiet. And of course, the homes are really beautiful. We didn't have to do any renovations.
That's always a plus, yeah. They call that chi, actually, when you don't have to do any renovations. Has good chi. Yeah. So what kind of things do you do? Do you, for me, because I live quite close to here, do you approach nature? Or do you do hikes and stuff? Where are the best hikes around here?
Yeah, we're very quite outdoorsy, like my husband and my son and I. So we go for walks a lot, mostly. There's lots of little trails around here, and then there's the beach, Royal Bay Beach. We just love walking along the beach. You can actually walk from Royal Bay Beach to Albert Head. There's a lagoon there. The Esquimalt Lagoon is close by. We haven't really explored too much, but I know there's a big park behind us. I think it's called Hammond Park.
Yeah, actually, if you go off Wishart and you go in and up through, you can go to the top of Triangle Mountain. There's a nice lookout there. When I taught at Dunsmuir, we used to take our students there as a activity. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, there's so many places to explore. So we're still scratching the surface, even though we've been here for about a year and a half now.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were here longer. That's interesting. I feel like I know you so well. Actually, at the top of Triangle Mountain, there's a nice little reservoir of water that you can go and swim in. So right off of Fulton Road. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely do it. So what about places to eat and restaurants and stuff like that?
Well, for the time being, until they develop Royal Bay there, there's, where do we go? Well, we like going up to Langford, I guess, mostly. There's a sushi place there called Langford Sushi, and then there's Brown's, and just trying to think. We like Pilgrim Coffee just down on Souk Road. So there's quite a few places to go right now, but we're looking forward to when they develop down below, because there's going to be a neighborhood house, restaurants, kind of commercial spaces, and so it's going to be really good.
I think you got in at a good time, actually, because when they got in, the whole main Royal Bay area wasn't developed at all.
Yeah.
And you're going to sort of catch it before I think the wave comes in to the rest of it. Do you ever go to the Royal Bay Bakery?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's right beside, I keep forgetting about it. Yeah, no, that's right beside our son's school. So, yeah, we often go there for coffee, or the donuts are awesome.
I go for the apple fritters every Saturday morning just before just after I go rowing. So, what about the community here? What do you find about the people in this neighborhood? What sort of neighbors do you have? And I hear it's a great place to come to on Halloween, this area. Is that true?
Yes, that's what we were told right away, because we moved in September, so it was like right before Halloween, and so everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to be busy." Not so much in our neighborhood right here, but in the neighboring neighborhood, because it's a bit older, but it's quite well known to be the best place, or one of the best places to go trick or treating, and it's true. So we did take Connor out trick or treating, and it was pretty awesome.
You have to bring a big bag.
Yes. Yeah, no, they're definitely very generous with with the treats.
So those houses, I think, they're just over 10 to 15 years old. So, and a lot of them have suites. There seem to be a lot of families in the area. One thing that attracts me about this area is the fact that there's the high school just down below, which is a brand new high school, Royal Bay, and big fields and stuff there for kids who want to play. Do you find though, with all the development, has the light changed? The light pollution changed?
I don't think so. I mean, that's one of the things we like about this area. It's so quiet and dark, like at night. I mean, we have the street lamps and stuff, but yeah, we don't really notice it back here. I think we're in a good spot too. Maybe the people in front, because they have the big field lights on. Yeah. But I haven't noticed it. Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. No.
Okay. And in terms of sports and activities, what's your son into? Is he doing any of the Tim Hortons soccer or anything like that?
Well, he's kind of tried a bit of everything, but he's honed in on basketball. So he loves basketball. So he's in basketball in school, and then after school programs, and he's also into swimming. So he loves swimming, and then in addition to that, he plays drums and plays guitar. So he's totally into music. So those are the four main things that he's into.
Do you find it easy to access those sort of resources here?
Oh yeah, no. There's lots of really good schools. That's what we learned about when we moved. That the West Shore is very well known for the schools, really good schools. And it's just, we just love the neighbors, like the neighborhood and the community. We've made friends with quite a few of the neighbors here. And, a lot of the people are in this neighborhood specifically are kind of transplants as well. So everyone kind of feels the same way. Like there's no, oh, you're new kind of thing. Yeah. So, everyone's kind of really open and friendly. And
what I found here, because I lived about 10 kilometers further out till we moved just around the corner, but I love the fact that they have the Juan de Fuca, which is now the West Shore Recreation Center, the library. You can go skating on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoons at 1. It's really super cheap. You can go swimming all year round. They have great summer camps, lots of activities. And then there's the new Y in Langford that's just opened up. Do you guys access those things?
Yeah, we're members of the Y, and then that's where Connor goes swimming. And then we've had Connor in a few camps at the Juan de Fuca. And we did the Rock the Shores concert 2 summers ago. It's an amazing place, and it's just going to get better because there's so many, the Royal Bay community coming in, and just a lot more houses being built, and so it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of entrepreneurs over here, so it's fun that way. A lot of people working from home.
Right. So do you use, on Whale Road, there's that business center. Do you use that at all?
I haven't needed to, but I've been there for various meetings and stuff like that. So there's so many resources here that it's, and it's very catered to families. And so, it was pretty much what I envisioned when we decided to move It just had all the elements, and it was mainly for lifestyle and community, because I felt that's what we were lacking in Vancouver. So.
What about for grocery shopping and stuff? There's Red Barn. I always thought if they actually took the lagoon and made it a real grocery store, that guy would do really well, but he hasn't developed it. And then about 5 kilometers away is Thrifty's Food. So that's a locally owned, actually it's owned by Sobeys now, but formerly locally owned, and Fairways. Where else do you go? Are you a foodie type person?
Well, my husband's the cook in the family, so he kind of tries everything, but there's quality foods, there's thrifty foods, there's Red Barn. We kind of go to different places for different things. So, and then he goes to Costco. I mean, that's the other thing. We have all the, not that I love the box stores, but they are handy to have in the neighborhood. And so, and that's only a 10-minute drive up to Langford. So everything's so close, like within 10 or 15-minute drive. Mm-hmm. And then, when we do go downtown, it's a kind of a novelty and it's kind of fun,
I found also with my husband working out as far back as he did in Metchosin, when he went downtown, he was kind of shocked by all the people.
Well, that's what I love about this area too, is like, Metchosin's only 10 minutes away, and that My Chosen Cafe is there, which is awesome. And you're just suddenly in the country, and it's kind of, we got the best of both worlds, I think, over on this area, on the West Shore. It's awesome. It's such a beautiful place.
I find it too. And also nearby is a local golf course, so the Olympic View Golf Course, which is an 18-hole course, and they have learned to golf in the summer, which is nice. I sent my kids there one summer. And just I find the proximity also to the beaches in general. So do you do any hikes in Metchosin at all?
Yeah, we've gone down to Whitty's Lagoon and Tower Point, and I'm just trying to remember all the names. But yeah, we've done a bit of exploring out there. Matheson Lake, we've gone swimming in. And again, they're all within, 15 to 30-minute drive, and just exploring in the country. And yeah, the wild beaches are awesome. Like, there's still so many, like the Taylor beaches out there, I think. Devonian. I love that, Alliard Farm.
Oh, Alliard Farm in East Souk.
Yeah, and that restaurant there in that house, that yellow house. I forget what it's called, but it's...
On Metchosin Road? Or on Rocky Point Road as you're heading out there, yeah.
It's like big yellow house on the hill, and it's got a very country feel, and it's like you just feel like you're out in the country, and it's like organic food, and then you walk down to the beach, and you go through the forest, and then it's like you're at this beautiful clear water beach. It's like, it felt like Mexico the first time we went.
I think that's right near Petite Bay Marina. My husband once took me there on a surprise, he blindfolded me and he wouldn't tell me where we're going, and we ended up at that yellow house, which I've always admired because it has a beautiful view down Petite Bay.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
And so what's your favorite restaurant here on the West Shore?
Shore. Let me think. Well, probably that one. But yeah, I love it. It's just got that country feel, and the food was really, really good. I just like the atmosphere. Yeah, I guess locally, just trying to think.
I like Sabai Thai, the corner.
Yeah, we've been there before. Yeah, we're still kind of exploring. I know we love sushi, so I'd say Langford Sushi for now. It's like very high quality sushi. So
real fish in it.
Real fish.
No crabs.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other highlights about this area that you like? So what I'm gathering is you like the fact that you're remote enough away from the city, but you have all the amenities close by if you want. Especially, like, one of the things that we live on the border of Colwood and Metchosin, we're in Colwood right now, where you live, is you're close enough to everything, but you're not impacted. So there's no traffic out here yet. And if you're going anywhere, if you just pick the time of day that you're going, you can totally avoid it. So are you finding, is that what I'm hearing? Is that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Bang on. I mean, my husband has to drive into town. So it is, there's a bit of traffic on the way downtown, but you just have to pick and choose your times to go. And I mean, I was used to that living on the North Shore in Vancouver, so for me it's no big deal. Mm-hmm. And for him neither.
Yeah, what I find is it's kind of an undiscovered gem out here, and it's interesting when you meet people from Victoria who grew up here. They consider the West Shore kind of meh, right? But really, if you want new construction, especially, this is a great area to live in because nothing, all the modern construction is less than 10 years old. So you're going to get new, it's well built, you have a variety of different types of housing styles that you can pick from here too. And then all the neighborhood, and it's true, the community, the schools are excellent. I taught, my kids go to school nearby too. And plus you have your choice of French immersion and English if you want. So your son could choose late French immersion if he wanted. And then the music, and then all of the sports programs that they offer. So like I'm finding, we have a national rugby team here that's situated outside of Langford, and they're right beside Belmont Secondary School. So if they go into French immersion, they can head there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many programs for kids and families. And I mean, really, it's just a great lifestyle. You get the best of both worlds out here, and it's quiet and it's peaceful. And, I mean, you can still run a business, which is great. So, and I don't mind. I mean, for me, driving 15 to 30 minutes is no big deal. So, yeah, we love it. It's like a resort almost. We feel like sometimes we have to pinch ourselves that we're living here.
Well, you have a gorgeous view from just down the road, I saw. Yeah. So I'll take a picture of that and show everybody. Okay, well, we're going to be back, and Linda's going to tell us about who she is and what she does in her business, and you'll learn about how the power of the portrait in portrait photography. Talk to you soon.
Vancouver Island Time is brought to you by the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, Victoria, where we bring local expertise and global presence to your property.
Hi, everybody. It's Jane Johnston with Vancouver Island Time. We're back here with Linda Mackie. So Linda Mackie runs her own business called Linda Mackie Photography, and she focuses kind of on branding people. So she has a unique approach to photographing people who are looking to professionally represent themselves in media. So tell us about yourself. How did you get into this? And I think your approach is really different than other people. So why don't you explain that as well?
Okay. Well, I've been doing photography for quite a long time, actually, but I'm in my 14th year of business. I have a background in advertising. I'm doing advertising as a coordinator and also producing, and then as a makeup artist. So I think over time, I've just really been able to work well with people. Like, people feel comfortable with me, and I have a strong understanding of what people need to communicate their best self, I guess, on film. And so what I do is, and because of my background as a makeup artist and working with photographers, I've kind of run the gamut of photography. I've done editorial, I've done commercial, I've done fashion, weddings, families, the whole thing. And I think everything kind of has led me to this because I love working with people. I love seeing people express themselves. And I've kind of over time, I guess, formalized what I've been doing for a long time, but I've kind of formalized it in a way that I actually treat you almost like an ad campaign. Like, I'll get to know you and your business and find out, who's your ideal client, and almost kind of like a branding person would, but from a photography point of view, so that when we come to do your photo shoot, we actually have a plan. We've designed what we're going to do. I know exactly what you want to communicate. I know who you're communicating that to. And we don't just have you show up and take a bunch of pictures and hope that there's one.
Maybe what we can do actually is you can show us some of your pictures and we can share them with people so they can see, because I think it does make a difference, Yeah.
Yes. Images do speak louder than words. So it's easy to say, but it's even better when you can actually see, what that looks like.
Do you find, do you have like interesting conversations with people as a result of this? Like, do you really learn about the person when you're doing this type of photography?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's really the point of doing it, because it's not just branding. It's actually, having your photos speak for you when you can't be there in person. I say that all the time, but it's so true because people are always online now. And a lot of people don't read, so they don't really care about your bio. They just want to know if they like you and trust you and want to work with you. So your photos should really kind of be you when you can't be there in person. So that's a huge part of my job, is to get to know you, you to get to know me, so that you feel comfortable to be yourself. And that's the whole thing. You know, I always say I stand for truth, beauty, and full self-expression, because that's when, you know, when people can see your true self, that's when people are attracted to you, and you create authentic bonds with people. So why shouldn't it be the same in photos?
Yeah, it's like, you know, you can have a vacuous expression, or, you know, or like a true smile where you're engaged and you're interested in people. It shows up in the picture.
For sure, yeah. No, and it's just been, I know, I mean, when I've read my testimonials, I mean, that's been what people say time and time again. And so it's like, okay.
They're getting it.
They're getting it, and I'm getting it. So I'm like, wow, okay, this is really working, and I'm really loving what I do. And, you know, you know, when I see my clients actually getting results or being successful in what they do, I mean, it makes me feel successful too. So it's sort of a win-win.
Good. Do you, so you moved here a year and a half ago from North Van. How was it breaking into the industry here? I noticed you've, created some strategic alliances. So I saw you did something with Melinda Harris lately, which was a really good idea. What else are you doing, and how are you using networking, I guess, to explore what your potential is in Victoria?
Mm-hmm. Well, we moved here in September, and then I kind of took a few months to get ready. And then, so I've really only been marketing, I guess, myself about a year ago. And everyone's like, oh, it's going to take you at least a year to get any business. And I guess I was lucky. I managed to get some business like before the year. And then I guess, yeah, joining eWomen Network. That was probably one of the first things I did.
You were a chapter member in Vancouver, and then you moved it over here. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I've been a member for about 7 years. I took a short break in between. But yeah, and then I joined the West Shore Chamber pretty much right away as well. And then I joined the Victoria Chamber. So networking is huge for me, because just because of the nature of what I do, I need to meet people, and they need to get to know me, and we talk about how everything works. And so it's what works for me, right. Is networking. And then yeah, I mean, it's all relationship building, really. And so I managed to make some really good connections and just get to know people and see how we can help each other and each other's business. I just did a talk on the power of a portrait with Melinda Harris, which was great. She's a marketing strategist. And yeah, really just communicating about what I do and what it all means, because I find that a lot of people don't understand. They just think photography is you just press a button. So there's a lot more to it that goes into it, and it's been really fun doing that.
What I like is when the photograph appears real. Like, I had my picture taken a few years ago by a photographer. By the time it arrived, I looked like airbrushed with no lines. And I thought, you know, it took me a lot of effort to get these lines. So do you do much touch up, or is it based on what somebody requests, or how do you want people to show up in person the way they show up on film, right?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, that's my philosophy. My personal philosophy as a photographer. I try to do as little Photoshop as possible, or retouching as they call it. Because, yeah, I want the picture to be as authentic as possible. And, I've had people say, can you make me look 20 years younger? And I'll know that's not really my client, because I don't do that. I don't want to create images that are obviously that retouched that you look 20 years younger.
I find too, for myself, I don't have my picture on my signs, because I did have my picture at one point, and people would come up and they'd say, your hair looks different. And I'm like, there's so much pressure to be perfect. Like, I guess every, 2 or 3 years. How often do you recommend people get their picture taken again, like for business purposes?
Yeah, I would say every minimum 2 years, because unless you change your look completely, I would say every 2 to 5 years, maybe. I've had some clients come back to use their photos that we've done together just because they still work for them. But as a general rule, you just want to keep it fresh, I think, as much as possible. But yeah, I would say every 2 years.
Plus, I think people want to they want to see the real you. Like I remember when I first got into real estate, I met a realtor and I was surprised he wasn't 20.
Yeah.
He was like 45 years old.
Yeah, there's a lot of photo. I wish I could go up to all those people and say, you need a photo, because they look completely different, or the photo's really bad, or it's an iPhone photo or whatever. Selfies, you know. It really does make a huge difference to your credibility as a business owner.
What do you think? Pictures or no pictures on business cards?
I think it depends what you do, but I think, I think for realtors, it's a good thing because it's such a personal business. You know, you're working really closely and it's a huge decision for clients. Like it's a big financial. So I don't know. I mean, I think it can only help, right? To have your photo on there so that people can, you know, remember you pretty quickly.
Well, it's funny because I went to a networking event in Vancouver and a lot of people didn't have their photos. No, it was Seattle. And when I came back, I realized I didn't know who was which person. And I read something about the history of photography on business cards for realtors. And what they were saying was the reason why it started was for credibility, because people wanted to know they're working with a real person. It wasn't a scam because there is so much at stake. So having the photo is proof that that person's real, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it just gives more credibility and professionalism to your business. So, and people want to know who they're working with. So, it just makes it real. Like that person is a real realtor, business owner. You know, they can call.
Do you do anything on your website for people that work with you? So, like, do you do a profile of people that you've worked with so that they can, when it's kind of like a testimonial, I guess, as well for you, but also just sort of examples of work that you've done. People can go to your website and see the kind of work that you've done.
Yeah, I do have a blog that I do. It's kind of like a client profile. I call it my lovely client profile. So I'll highlight them and then I ask them a few questions and then they'll tell me what their favorite photo was and why and what they do. And then I'll show a bunch of photos, probably 5 to 10 pictures from the photo shoot. And it's good for me and it's good for them because we highlight each other and what the experience was like and how the photos have benefited them in their business.
Do you find they have fun working with you? Is that one thing that they say?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, and I mean, I would say my kind of typical client is a person who doesn't like having their photo taken, and so by the end of it, they're like having a great time and they don't want it to end.
It's like that in real estate too.
Yeah.
Can I buy another house, Jane? Not really, but they do say, yeah, I do find they've bonded with you, right?
Yeah, no, and I mean, a lot of my clients I end up becoming friends with, so that's part of why I love what I do. Just the variety of people and personalities, and I guess at the bottom line is making people happy, right?
Yeah.
And what you do, you like making people happy, and and for me, it's kind of like the full self-expression thing. It kind of helps me to express myself through my photography. So it's kind of like this cycle of expression. And
okay, so I want people to understand what the whole experience is with you, because I don't think we've quite got it yet. So when you come in, you don't just sit down in front of the camera. What happens?
Well, a lot of the work is actually prior to the photo shoot. So, like I say, I treat you like an ad campaign. So I have kind of what I call a creative brief or creative questionnaire. And so I ask you a bunch of questions about you and your business. And actually what happens is, yes, it's helpful to me, but it's actually very valuable for the client, because a lot of times people say, oh, I just need a headshot. And to me, a headshot is just a picture of somebody. There's no personality. It's often a term used in the acting world to get auditions for actors. And the casting directors don't want to see personality. They don't want to see any expression, really. They just want to see what you look like to see if you're going to be a good fit. So that's why I say, okay, great, you want a headshot, but let's explore and see, let's find out a little bit more about you. And so I take them through the process. And then, oftentimes, well, they may end up saying, yeah, they just need one picture. That's fine. But a lot of times it's like, no, I actually need 3 to 20 photos because I really do need to communicate my personality. I really do need to communicate my brand. I really need to show who I am in more than just a headshot. And so that's the real fun part. Well, the photo shoot's a really fun part too, but it's really enlightening, I think, for the clients because it's like, wow, they really kind of get a very much more clear picture of what they do need. And then figure out from there, okay, let's design it so that we actually create those images. And I get them to send me what I call inspiration photos. Okay, what do you want these photos to look like? Because as we know, there's a million different ways you can be photographed. Inside, outside, by a tree, in front of us, backdrop,
I have a friend who was an interior designer, so she was in a similar experience, and they were doing face-to-face shots or whatever. And then halfway through the shoot, she just kind of leaned back and she put her feet up on the chair, and the photographer said something that made her laugh, and she threw her head back and she's laughing like this, and that's what she uses as her
and that was her true self coming through in a very impromptu moment or spontaneous moment, right? I've had clients like that who've picked photos like that. We didn't intend necessarily for it to be, but I snapped, and that's what I'll try to do too, is snap in between moments, instead of like the person trying to pose or,
I have a very mobile face, so I can just imagine what it would look like.
Yeah. So you just never know. And, it's more fun that way too. You can have fun with it but have, a framework to work in because so, you're in the right realm of the vision.
Right. So how can people follow you on social media, and can you spell out your website for us?
Yeah, my website is www.lindamackie.ca, LINDAMACKIE.ca. And I mostly go on Instagram and Facebook. So Instagram first. So it's at Linda Mackie Photo. And my Facebook page is the same, at Linda Mackie Photo. And
I do find social media, like I find for visual, Instagram's the best. Do you find social media really builds your business, or is it just, do you do it because it's kind of like gives you positive feedback? Does it actually build your business?
Well, because I'm in a new place, I think that it's a work in progress. But yes, it definitely gets my work out there, like my name out there. So it's one of those things you have to be consistent at. So I'm still working on that part of it. So, I mean, I think I do get business from it because people say, oh, I saw your photos, or I'm following you on Instagram, or, so I think insidiously or indirectly business is coming, and directly too.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, thank you so much for spending time with me today. It was great to get to know you a bit better. We're going to hopefully you will have a great introduction now to Royal Bay and Linda Mackie. If you have any questions, you can follow up with her. If you have any questions about the neighborhood, you can follow up with me. And if you need anything real estate-wise, please contact me at the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. I'm Jane Johnston with Vancouver Island Time. Have a great day.
Welcome to the neighborhood. We hope you have had some insight into West Coast living. If you know of someone or someplace that should be highlighted in our podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Please go to VancouverIslandTime.com and click on our Connect button. See you next week on Vancouver Island Time with Jane Johnston.
Do you feel like you're drowning in administrivia? Do you have a podcast you would like transcribed to repurpose as a blog or even a best-selling book? Rhonda's Virtual Office is the answer to the freedom you crave so you can get busy doing what you love. Let Rhonda's Virtual Office give you the relief you need. Visit rhondasvirtualoffice.com and get some peace of mind today. Rhonda's Virtual Office is the go-to transcription service for EWN Podcast Network.